Has there ever been a game recently more maligned and talked down about than Redfall for the Xbox Series X? I don't think there has been, and I actually wanted to review this game for a while now, and of course I waited for the new update patch and things like that. I actually beat the game right when it came out. I played through it, beat the game, enjoyed the game, but I was the first one to kind of say, hey, this isn't really a great game. It's not even a good game. Okay, so what has changed? I think time kind of changes things a little bit. If you look at games that kind of get out right now, there's always these, it seems like people gang up on these games. Now, I think Redfall's big problem, there was multiple problems with the game, obviously, but the big problem was they announced that it was 30 frames per second on console literally a few days before it was coming out. If they had jumped ahead of that, I don't think it would have been as big of a problem, but considering the game didn't look graphically demanding, you know, people obviously took that sort of the wrong way, and that just kind of snowballed from that particular point. Now with this, obviously they've got a lot of things out. This newest patch brings out a performance mode on Xbox Series and X and S. There's stealth takedowns, new controller settings, accessibility improvements, and much more. Explore an even more dangerous Redfall with an increased open-world enemy population and new encounters. Now, obviously, there's a lot of patch notes and things like that. Obviously, also, Pete Hines said the company would make Redfall a good game, despite underwhelming reception at launch. Okay, we didn't get the start we wanted, but it's still a fun game, and we're going to keep working on it, according to them. And we're going to do the 60 frames per second. We're going to go get it, and it's going to be a good game, because we know as a first-party studio, Game Pass lives forever. So, what do I think about this game now? Well, I think the game is good. I think it's a fun game. The AI is a little bit still on the silly and stupid side, but there's definitely more enemies, and you're not going to see that here. I just wanted to record a little bit of the footage to see how it looks. Like I said, I already beat the game. I looked around a little bit and tinkered with it. This game, obviously, a first for Arcane, doing something with not only Unreal Engine, but sort of a co-op experience game. And, you know, props to them for getting this out there. This atmosphere in this game, say what you will about this game, but the atmosphere of the game is absolutely phenomenal. And playing this game with friends is a must, at least one other person. I would never play this game solo. I think that it wouldn't be something that would be actually fun to me personally, but I played through it with a friend. We beat it in 17, 18 hours. I thought it was good fun. The interesting thing about this game is people want to hate on it nonstop. Have you noticed this? If you're an Xbox fan, maybe you feel me. And if you do feel me, hit that like button. But don't feel me up too hard. I'm kind of gentle and brittle, you know what I mean? But anyway, one of the things that's kind of funny is you'll never find a PlayStation fan, or rarely, that doesn't think the Days Gone or The Order 1886 were good games, right? They'll go, oh man, yeah, such underrated games. They really deserve a sequel. You know, this is the type of thing that you'll see from people talking about, you know, especially Order 1886. People go, I really wish that game would get a sequel. Sony needs to get on that. You know, despite that game receiving horrendous reviews and not being very good in my opinion, and they never really did anything to fix that as far as I can tell. Or people compare games to Cyberpunk, right? Listen, I haven't played Cyberpunk. I don't really know anything about Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk took 3 years to get where it's at now, and people don't want to give Microsoft or Bethesda credit for taking 5.5 months to do a big update to Redfall and get everything kind of running nice and smooth. Now, is it 100% like the best game ever? No. Had the game launched like this, however, I believe you would see a Metacritic somewhere probably in the 70s, maybe high 70s even, which isn't bad, or it isn't terrible. Of course, waiting for the post-patch, I think, makes a lot of sense. It's an interesting story, but the fact that you have the, you have this situation where gamers are expecting certain things for some reason or whatever, and to be honest with you, it's just one of those things that kind of upsets me. And I think this game deserves better. It's not a terrible game. It's not a amazing game. I think that they've got obviously work to do, and they can continue to add to it. People ask me, well, would you go back to it? I beat the game. Like, people are very mistaken, because this is so odd to me too. Yesterday, before it was announced that it was getting a patch, 8 to 10 different gaming sites all ran an article talking about how low the Steam player count was on this game, randomly, right? So 6 months after a game launches, mind you, this isn't a multiplayer game with a horde mode or anything like that, you have all these sites talking about how low the player count is on Steam. Now, let me say this, Steam's player count was never very high to begin with on this game because it got bad reviews. If people were going to play it, it was going to be on Xbox or it was going to be on the Windows Store through Game Pass. And, you know, it was just so odd to me that people were reporting on the Steam player count when clearly that wouldn't be where people were playing it. So it's like they want to get something negative out before the positive hits. You know, oh, remind you, oh, this game is dead or this game sucks or whatever. I knew people that specifically waited for this patch before they wanted to play it. It's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's not a great game. It's not a fantastic game. It's a good game now. And if you were waiting on something to play it. And honestly, I think you'll probably enjoy it if you like this style of game. For me personally, I can't wait to, you know, I hope they actually put some kind of DLC in there and get it going. But honestly, even if they didn't do anything else, I still think that they've managed to kind of do something that people thought they would never do, right? So, you know, again, we'll wait and see what happens long term with this, but I am happy with what they've done with the update. The patch has made a heck of a difference. The game, it doesn't look terrible. That's the funny thing. It doesn't look bad at all. We'll see what happens long term with this. We could see, you know, even more content down the road. And in a place like redemption is such a big thing these days, right? Look, Cyberpunk is supposedly great, you know, sometime later. Then let's give Arcane and Bethesda the chance to make things right here. They've obviously started their next game already, but to continue on with this game when they could have just abandoned it, I think it shows a lot of heart and a lot of character. And I hope that, you know, they continue to do things for this game, because I absolutely think that this game has something there and it is fun. And I think enough time has passed where we can actually say, hey, you know what? This game is fun, it's worth picking up, and it's worth trying out. You know, just for the ambiance alone. Listen, vampires, right? Like, that's not something we get a lot of in video games these days, right? And co-op fun. Yes, you can play it alone. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you wanted me to score this game right now, how it is, how it plays, I would probably give this game a 7.5 or so. And I think that that's very, very fair. And I never thought that the 53s or the 5s were fair to begin with, because there were some bugs in the game, but it wasn't like completely broken. Like I said, I was able to beat it and have fun with it for what it was. But then again, people always look for the negative in things, and when they don't find it, you know, things happen. So we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up.